So the faded LSU cap is back. Can you guess what tomatoes I'll be talking about on this episode of Growing Some Louisiana History? Stay tuned and find out. Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Growing Some Louisiana History with me, David Hubbell. And this week we're going to do our second part on the Louisiana Dixie and Louisiana Gulf State tomatoes. I want to thank everybody who's already taken the time to subscribe to the David J. Hubbell YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, please consider doing it. All you have to do is simply click that subscribe button and click that bell to be alerted to all upcoming videos. The Louisiana Dixie and the Louisiana Gulf State tomatoes were bred back in the 1930s by a team led by Dr. Julian C. Miller Sr. So if you recall, the Louisiana Dixie was released back around 1936. It was a cross between the Louisiana Pink and the Walter Richard, or as they say in Louisiana, Walter Richard. It was a 90-day to maturity tomato, indeterminate, good for high temperatures and growing conditions. And it's listed, well, I didn't find a listing for the weight, but my experience is that the ones I grew were anywhere from 4 to 10 ounces in weight. Pink in color, very juicy, flattened, globe shape, and have few small seeds. And these are recommended for home gardeners, especially with the Victory Garden campaign of World War II. Now, the Louisiana Gulf States, also developed in 1936, were an improvement on the Gulf State market tomato. These are listed as being 75 to 80 days to maturity, indeterminate also, good for high temperatures, growing conditions, resistant to cracking and wilt. They're also a mid-season tomato, and they're about 8 to 12 ounces in weight, pink in color, and globe to flattened globe shape. And they were recommended for home and commercial gardens. Let's go out back into the garden to see how these did. Well, quite honestly, folks, at this point, it's so overgrown it's hard to tell which is which. And even though I still have a few tomatoes coming on, it's really hard to tell which one's Gulf States. This is about where I had the Louisiana Dixies, but I don't really see a whole lot putting on right now. This is where I had the Louisiana Gulf States, but it's so overgrown you can't even really tell. Like I said, the garden is really overgrown at this point, so it's hard to distinguish anything. So let's go into the kitchen and do the important taste test. So I actually have to overdub this because I messed up the audio the first time, but this is the Louisiana Dixie. It's about 13 ounces. The skin's a little tough. This was about 4 inches long, maybe by about 2.5 inches deep. So you can see it's kind of flat globe shape. I peeled it like I always do the other ones, and it's very juicy. And it's got a really good flavor. I think this might be my second favorite next to the Louisiana All Seasons. But you can see there's a lot of flesh there and not a whole lot of seed. Alright, so this next one is the Gulf State. The Louisiana Gulf State is described as one of the most flavorful tomatoes around. I can't remember if it was James Beard who said that. This is also a pink tomato. This is about a 6-ounce tomato here. Pretty good size, you see? Pretty. Let's see, measured out here across about 3 inches and inch and 3/4. Not exactly a globe all the way in shape, a little bit flattened. So we'll go peel this one and give it a taste. As was somebody talked about last week, you can see that it's got a little bit more pink, a little bit more of the pink color to it. I found the Gulf State and the Dixie to both be a little thicker skinned than what I found, say, with All Seasons or even a Creole. So that when I peel it, it holds, it's a little more tight than the looser skins or the thinner skins. And that's not a bad thing because it probably helps to avoid cracking in some cases. You can see this has got a little bit more of a seed cavity and less flesh than what we had on that Dixie. I think it's a little bit sweeter than the Dixie. I think I like the Dixie just a little bit better. So it's still very good. None of the tomatoes I have grown this year would be anything that I would really complain about. I mean, they're way better than a store-bought any day. As far as other varieties like, you know, Whopper or Big Boys or some of the others, I'm not really sure. I think all my tomatoes, as you can tell from the videos, have been pretty juicy. So I think just in general, picking one that's right for your climate helps out quite a bit in getting to a good tomato. And like I said, I've been very fortunate this year compared to others. But definitely, if you have a chance to grow the Louisiana Gulf State, I'd go ahead and give it a shot. Another thing to notice about the Gulf State is that it seems to have a little bit more of the stem-like material, so when you get in there, you don't have quite as much all edible flesh, but some more of this hard stem material. I don't know what the proper name is. Maybe I'll learn it and get you the right information at some point, but just another point about the Gulf States. There you go, folks, the Louisiana Dixies and the Louisiana Gulf States. So if you've grown these yourselves, please leave me a comment in the comment section below, or send them to me at rpcajun2r@gmail.com. Or if you have any questions regarding these tomatoes, let me know. Also, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the David J. Hubbell YouTube channel. All you gotta do is click that subscribe button and click the alert. You can also find me on the Melliton Man of Mobile or on the melliton.org website, mirliton.org. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.